It's easy to lose our passion in life when we've been through disappointments, dreams are taking longer than we thought, we're dealing with a challenge. If we're not careful, we'll become complacent, where we're not believing for things to turn around and not expecting good breaks. But Paul said in Romans, be glad for all that God is planning for you. If you could see what God has planned for you, if you knew the doors He's going to open, the people you're going to meet, the giants you're going to defeat, then you'd go out each day with a spring in your step, excited about your future, expecting God to show out in your life. That expectancy is what allows God to do great things. That's your faith at work. You may be in a difficult time and thoughts will whisper, it's never going to change. You've seen your best days. Don't believe those lies. God has a comeback for every setback, a new beginning for every loss, mercy for every mistake. He's already planned to bring you out better, to promote you in front of those that did you wrong, to heal you despite that diagnosis. There are good breaks in your future that will catapult you ahead. When you realize this, it changes your perspective. You won't get discouraged over problems, thinking a dream is too big, these people are too powerful. There'll be a passion and expectancy. You know God is on the throne. You know His plans for you are for good, that He's already lined up the right people, the breaks you need, the favor. There's not a problem you'll face that God hasn't already lined up a solution. It's not a Goliath that will try to stop you that God hasn't already lined up a slingshot in a smooth stone. Not a dream in your heart that God hasn't already arranged the wisdom, the creativity, the funding. When you know God has good plans, you'll live out of a place of rest, not uptight, wondering how it's going to work out. You know it's already been planned. The schedule has already been set, not by people, not by opposition, not by the enemy. The Most High God has planned out your days. Psalm 30 says that God's favor is not for a season, but it's for a lifetime. It's not for a few years. Maybe in your 20s, your 30s, you'll have a few good breaks. No, as long as you're breathing, there's favor on your life. And we can all look back and see these moments of favor where God opened a door we could have never opened. He had you at the right place and you met that person and fell in love. He promoted you when you weren't next in line. He healed you when the experts said there was no way. You've seen God's favor in the past. The good news is God never does His greatest feats in your yesterdays. They're always in your tomorrows. God doesn't want us to live off of old victories. Yes, we can celebrate. Yes, we should be grateful for what God has done, but He has some new victories for you. He's taken you from glory to glory. What's in your future is going to supersede anything you've seen in the past. That's why we can live with expectancy, excited when others are down, hopeful when others are discouraged, praising when others are complaining. We know His favor is for a lifetime, that we haven't seen our best days. I'm sure you can say like me that God's been good to you, you've been blessed, but the Scripture says you haven't seen, heard, or imagined what God has in store for those that love Him. You've seen favor, but you haven't seen the favor that's coming. You've seen breakthroughs, God turning things around, but you haven't seen the breakthroughs that are coming. You've seen promotion, but you haven't seen the levels that God is about to take you to. Paul said to be glad for all God is planning for you. He's inferring if you're not glad, if you're not hopeful, not expecting, then you're not going to see it. You'll miss the favor, the blessing that belongs to you. Well, Joel, I've seen God's goodness in the past, but this problem with my health, this child, my finances, I don't see how it can work out. Don't talk yourself out of it. If you could see what God has planned, if you could see what He's about to do, you'd get your passion back. God sent me to relight that fire. Yes, He's been good to you in the past, but there are new victories coming. Just because you haven't seen anything in a long time doesn't mean God is not going to do it. The Scripture says there is a set time for God to favor you. There are marked moments where God has already planned to suddenly promote you, suddenly turn it around, suddenly open a door. David said, what would have happened to me if I had not believed that I would see the goodness of God? He was saying, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have defeated Goliath. I wouldn't have outlasted King Saul. I wouldn't have taken the throne if I had not believed that the favor of God was on my life, that He had already lined up the breaks, the protection, the promotion that would take me into my destiny. See, when David was a teenager, he was out in the shepherd's fields taking care of his father's sheep. He had a big dream for his life, but nobody paid attention to him. He was stuck out there cleaning up after sheep, protecting them, feeding them. His brothers were in the army. They had a prestigious position. It seemed like David had been left out. He was at a disadvantage, almost like God had forgotten about him. He could have been discouraged, thought, this isn't fair. Why did I get stuck out here? But out there in the lonely shepherd's fields, when he could have been complaining, maybe that's where he wrote, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. He was saying the odds may be against me. Doesn't look like I can accomplish my dreams, but surely goodness is coming. Surely new doors are going to open. Surely the right people will show up. He had such a confidence in God. He believed despite the circumstances, despite how long it had been, despite who didn't believe in him, that he would leave his mark. One day, unexpectedly, the prophet Samuel came to his father's house to anoint one of the sons as the next king of Israel. His father, Jesse, didn't even bother to call David in from the shepherd's fields. He thought, David's too young, too small. He's not that talented. He'll never do anything great. People may overlook you, but God sees you. They may judge you, discount you, leave you out. They can't see the greatness God put in you. He loves to take what some consider weak and cause them to confound the wise. Samuel said to Jesse, it's none of these sons. Do you have any other? He said, yes, I have a son named David, but I'm sure it's not him. They brought David in. Samuel took one look at him and said, that's the one. God had already planned for David to be the king. What God has planned for you, people cannot stop. Betrayals can't stop. Rejection can't stop. God's plan will override what other people want. His plan will supersede those that try to push you down, leave you out, tell you that you're not qualified. And it's significant that David didn't go after Samuel. Samuel came to him. David didn't have to campaign, try to convince Samuel to be for him, play up to him. Samuel came knocking on his door. There are blessings in your future, good breaks, the right people that are going to come looking for you. You don't have to go after them. God's going to cause them to find you. These moments of favor that God has already lined up to thrust you into your destiny. And I know you've seen some in the past. The good news is His favor is for a lifetime. There are more favor moments coming your way. There are more Samuels, blessings, promotion, healing still on your schedule. Now do your part and be glad for all God has planned for you. Live with expectancy, excited about your future, thanking God for what's in store. Pastor friend of mine wanted to build a new sanctuary, and he'd tried for several years but couldn't find any property. And a couple of times he found a place, but it was way too expensive. He didn't have the funds and nothing was coming together. He could have been discouraged and thought, well, it's not meant to be. But his attitude was, God, I know you already have the right place for us. God, I trust you. One day the mayor of his city unexpectedly called. He had never met this pastor, but he'd heard that they were looking for a building. He told about this group that built a huge building for a casino. It was just a few miles from his church. Before they moved in, they went bankrupt. It had over 40 acres of parking. The building could fit 4 football fields inside. The mayor asked the pastor if he was interested in purchasing the building. Pastor thought it'd cost $50 million. They couldn't afford that. The mayor said, no, we can sell it to you for under $2 million. Pastor never dreamed he would have a facility like that. This was one of those favor moments that God had already planned. Now, God has some of these explosive blessings in your future, moments that will catapult you further. You couldn't make it happen. You didn't have the resources, the funding, the connections, but the favor of God will open the door. The favor of God will bring the right people. The favor of God will turn that problem around. Instead of living worried, frustrated, let's do like David. Surely goodness is coming. He didn't say, I hope it comes. Maybe it comes. There's a chance it may show up. He said, surely it's coming. Our attitude should be, surely breakthroughs are coming. Surely promotion is on the way. Surely healing, restoration, new levels are in front of me. David said in Psalm 27, I am confident I will see the goodness of God. Look at his attitude. In the midst of trouble, people coming against him, left out in the shepherd's fields, you would think he'd be discouraged, given up on his dreams. Yet he said, I am confident God will turn this around. I am confident good things are ahead of me. I am confident my latter days will be better than my former days. He was convinced that God had good things planned for him, that he wasn't at the mercy of other people, his environment, what he didn't get. He knew that God had the final say. What would happen if we would live with that same attitude? I am confident I will see God's goodness. How much further will we go if we had this mindset, surely good things are in my future? Yes, business may be slow now. I'm struggling with my finances, but I am confident Jehovah Jireh, the Lord my provider, will bring increase, promotion, new clients, abundance. I'm still single, haven't met anyone yet, but I am confident the right person is on the way. I'm still fighting this battle in my health, but I am confident Jehovah Rapha, the Lord my healer, is restoring health back into me. I am confident I will live and not die. Or maybe this addiction has been in my family for years, but I am confident freedom is coming. This is not how my story ends. I am confident this generational curse is being broken and a generational blessing is beginning. Proverbs 13 puts it this way, trouble chases the wicked, but blessings chase the righteous. When you honor God with your life, you keep Him first place, something is chasing you. Not defeat, bad break, sickness, depression. No, you're the righteous, blessings are chasing you. Healing, promotion, the right people, breakthroughs. When you look in your rearview mirror, you have a tailgater. Favor is about to overtake you. Samuel is about to show up. That baby you've been dreaming about is headed your way. Healing is tracking you down right now. Freedom has almost caught up with you. It's just a matter of time before you see the goodness of God. Now do your part and be glad for what God is planning for you. Every day live with expectancy. Lord, I believe something good is going to happen to me. Father, thank you that my best days are not behind me, but they're still out in front of me.